This is the High Alpha Hooligans podcast with your hosts, Fifi, Scud, and Jimmy Chaos. Fire up those afterburners and let's dive in.
Hey, everybody. If you're a fan of big, firm sticks in your hand and really feeling it in your butt, this is going to be the episode for you. Today, we're talking about the Moza AB6, AB9, the DOF Reality H3, and the DOF Reality H6, and this is our honest review of everything. Let's get into it.
You have never had my attention more so than you do right now.
He had me at sticks and butt. Welcome to High Hooligans, everybody. I'm Scott. As always, we have, I think I can actually point the right direction. I don't know. We have Fifi and Jimmy Chaos, and as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, we have a guest with us, who, you can just look at him and tell who he is.
I don't know if it's the guy in black or the guy in white. I don't know yet. Working on that.
I don't know. That thing was moving earlier. Surprise special guest.
Welcome. First things first. Let's thank our sponsor, Luck, over at Fox Managed Solutions, for always taking care of us, which we will talk more about later in this episode, of what he's done to help us out, to help the community out as well. Mm-hmm. And then our partners, Eagle Dynamics, always, of course, and Heat Blur and Granelli Design, which there's more in the future from High Alpha Hooligans when it comes to what Granelli's got going on too. So much. I don't know what we can say yet or not.
I mean, the cat's kind of out of the bag, but if you guys go to certain social media sites, you could probably find it.
Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTubes, and you'll see a picture with some iconic iron sitting there, and you'll put 2 and 2 together and make 3.
Find us in the metaverse. 2 and 2
and make 3. Jimmy can do math.
It's algebra.
Right. It's algebra. So our guest, as you can see, we have Darth Vader joining us. No, this is a dude who's been flying with us for a long time, since long before the podcast started. He's going to do the stig here and reveal himself.
Breathe again.
Were you dying in there?
And he's on a pike.
Well, I can tell now why he has such a heavy breathing.
Why he's got permanent asthma.
He can barely breathe in there. I was only in there for a few minutes.
This is Vader. He's been flying with us in DCS since long before the podcast started, and he's been a part of the High Alpha Hooligans since we started it, and part of the 56 since it began. And he's now running the Warbird Wednesdays and Warbird stuff on our servers. So Vader, we know you. We've flown with you a lot, but the audience doesn't really know you, or maybe some of them do. But why don't you take a minute and introduce yourself?
Absolutely.
Show us what you got.
Show us what you got. All right. So, my story isn't as glamorous as some of your ex-guests have been. I don't have any military history. I don't have any actual flight history. I've been on a plane, but I haven't flown the plane.
I would say your beauty surpasses all of that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Jimmy.
I gotta stick up for my fellow salt and pepper.
Yeah. So in the real world, I have been doing martial arts for 31 years. I'm an instructor. I have a school. I've owned a school for 11 years now. I got my mastership in 2022. I'm going to be going for my senior mastership here in a couple years. So that's what I do in the real world when I'm not teaching other kids how to kick and punch. I am here in that thing playing DCS and only DCS.
Terrible place to be.
Yes. And the story with that is I have been into history all my life. I can't remember a time when I wasn't into history, and especially the World War II era. The World War II era just amazes me. What those guys did. It's no wonder they were called the greatest generation on earth. the things that they had to do and go through and accomplish. It's just amazing. So every day I am watching something on YouTube that has to do with World War II, planes, everything. So I've always had a little bit of the fascination with the warbirds. So I started my actual flight simming a few years back, and before DCS, I didn't have any of this. I didn't have a PC. I didn't have a rig. I didn't have nothing. I had a Xbox and a controller. And I decided one day just to try out Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. And that's where I started. I started playing with that. And I quickly realized that I had a Thrustmaster T-Flight. What is it? T-Flight HOTAS?
Yep.
It was just the stick and the throttle together. And I was like, well, let's see if I can get this to work. And I plugged it into the Xbox. I got it to work. It actually connected pretty quick. And I started flying like that. And I realized that was awesome. This is fun, doing it with a controller, it felt like a game. But once I started doing it with the HOTAS, it felt more quote unquote real, and that's where my fascination with Immersion started. So I flew with that for probably 4 or 5 months. I then upgraded to the Velocity One yoke down there. I used that for a few months. And this was just still on the Xbox in front of the TV. I had my cart table set up, and that was it. And then I started doing more research and watching YouTube videos, and I heard that, you can get force feedback sticks. So I was still doing the Microsoft Flight Sim. So I decided, okay, well, I'm going to get that had just started shipping, I believe, the CLS 60 yoke, force feedback yoke from Flight Sim. So I got that, and I got the Honeycomb Bravo throttle. So upgraded that, put that on the desk, was flying that. And then as I'm flying around, of course, I still am into history. I'm into warbirds. I wanted to be able to start shooting stuff. And you can't do that in Microsoft Flight Sim. You can fly warbirds, but you can't pull the trigger. So I decided, yeah.
You're like, pew,
So-
pew, pew, pew.
No, I am definitely crazy when it comes to this, but I decided in November that I was just going to get everything I needed for DCS that I wanted. And I searched all the different places. I got my DOF Reality H3. I got my Pimax Crystal Light. I got my AB9. I think I even got the MIP panel right away. I got the seat. I got the monitors. I actually started with triple monitors. So I had 3 of them. I just wrapped all around their LG 45-inch. And I started on those. But the second I went to VR, I ended up tearing them off. So one I'm looking at right now, the other one's downstairs in a box.
I can see
So
you like
that's how
ripping
much
off.
I
You're
like.
like, you're trash. You're trash. Then you hold the
Yeah.
Pimax. You're like, you can
Lie.
stay.
Yeah. So a lot of modifications that I was doing.
I mean, Vader, if you need a place to store that third 45-inch monitor, I got some space in the house.
He can find room on his desk to help you store that for a while.
That's a great guy, PP.
I'll drag it along when I come to Flight Sim Expo.
Oh yeah.
You'll have to carry it back
carry
on the
on
plane.
when you fly back.
No, I don't have to fly. I'm going to drive.
Question about you, Vader.
Yes, sir.
Well, you go by Vader, and
Hmm?
I'm guessing by looking at the picture that you might be a Star Wars fan or maybe involved. Do you want to tell us about your work with that?
Yeah.
Because I think it's
Well-
pretty fucking cool.
Obviously, along with history, I mean, Star Wars has been huge. I was born in 79. So, 6 years old, 1985, all the movies had come out. So I remember going over to my friend's house and we had the VHS tapes right when they came out.
I thought you were going to
And I
say
just
laser
remember
disc.
watching it. Oh, no.
No,
Watching the VHS.
old
just
VHS
over
before
and-
they ruined them with the remaster.
Yep. I watched those things over and over and over. I had all the toys, but they're always hand-me-downs. So my brother is 9 years older than me, and he had the TIE Fighter from Star Wars. But if you remember the old TIE Fighter, the wings, you could push a button and the wings would blow off. Well, he lost those wings a long time ago. So all I had was the center point with the 2 things sticking out. So I took cereal boxes, cut the little shape of a TIE Fighter wing, put aluminum foil on there, took toilet paper rolls, And I don't know how I stuck them on there. And then that was my TIE fighter that I flew around. Yeah. So they were always, I had the Sandcrawler, or not the Sandcrawler, the speeder, Luke speeder, but the top engine was broken off and it didn't have the windshield, so, but I had a great imagination. So, like I say, even though, a lot of your guests have an awesome history, I want to ask them how many of them have their own action figure. So this is me. So I am part of the 501st. I'm actually retired now. I haven't been trooping for a while, but that picture right there, that is me. So I have.
That's badass.
Dude,
No
awesome.
way.
Yeah, I have an authentic. That's the helmet for it. TK from A New Hope, and RS Prop Masters in England has one of the 50 molds for the first 50 sets of armor that they used for Star Wars. So that mold you can find that somewhere in the movie. And I think it's actually the Sand Trooper, the one that says, move along, move along. That's the helmet from that mold. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Get your own action figure.
What's that? Oh, this guy?
It's officially.
Yeah.
Now,
So you can
the
see it's
question
mine
is,
because it's got my name up there.
does it
Yeah.
have a push button on the back where it karate chops?
Oh, no. Because this is it's supposed to replicate being from 1977. So that's
okay.
that's my action figure. This is the real action figure.
I take it nobody.
So this one's from
nobody caught
1978 or 77.
I take it nobody caught the kicky punchy reference there with the karate chop action figure.
We don't karate chop there, bud. I
Yeah,
got a
right now.
fist.
Well,
Yeah, so if you are a member, and I'm also, of course, a member of the Sith Lords as well. And this is, I'm not going to say what movie it's from, because I want to see if anybody in the comments can guess. Because if you don't already know, every Darth Vader armor set is different for every single movie. So if you think about A New Hope, think about the cape. It went on top of his armor plate. And then in everything else, it was underneath. So the armor went on top of the cape, and then the cape went over it.
I didn't
So-
know that.
So,
for our Star Wars fans, take a look at the helmet that's sitting
Yeah.
there that he was wearing a minute ago, and write in the comments
which one?
which movie
And-
that one's
and
from.
I'll narrow it down. It's one of the
It's
first three.
Spaceballs, just so you guys know.
Yeah, Spaceballs.
You know
It's
what?
one of the first three.
Whoever gets it right, out of the people who get it right, I'll throw out a free module.
Out
Throw
of
out a free
hey.
module.
Wow.
So you're gonna pick one of the people to get it right.
Maybe one of the people to get it right. The
Man,
first
I'm
one,
gonna-
it'll be the
Clarify,
top
or
comment.
Fifi's gonna be stuck giving out
I'm
a
gonna
whole
have to
bunch
give
of
it
modules.
like a
Yeah,
close up then, so people can get a good look at it.
yeah. We'll do.
I
There you
can
go.
already hear the asthmatic gas right there.
Welcome, Vader. Glad to finally have you on the podcast instead of just in the background.
Been talking about it for a while.
As Vivi mentioned at the beginning, this is about sticks and butts. We're going to talk about the kind of a product review. Both Jimmy and Vader have got the AB6 from Moza and have been testing it out, and they really want to tell everyone about it. And then I have a new sim rig, motion rig, and Vader has a new motion rig, and we want to tell you guys about that. But before we get into the products, we mentioned Luck at Fox 3 and how he's hooking us up and make the community better. Jimmy, you want to tell everyone what we got running for servers?
I would love to.
I know you would.
So Luck, fantastic dude. Fox 3, fantastic product. Fantastic piece of the community, because Fox 3 is, I think, the staple of what it is to run like a server company for a video game, because Fox 3 does everything for you. The updates, install SRS, update TechView, everything. Any add-on you can imagine for DCS, Luck has it, and he does it all for you. All you have to do is send him a note, be like, open a ticket, be like, hey man, I get my SRS working. He'll be like, yo, too. And
First off,
Yeah.
Jimmy is an unpaid intern for Fox 3 Managed Solutions.
Yeah.
So
Oh, no,
whenever
no.
Jimmy puts a ticket in, he just falls back on his own desk.
no, Luck's vacation's over. People aren't stuck with me anymore saying, hey, have you tried to restart the device?
And I can verify that Luck gets on it right away. Like if there's any issues
Oh,
with the servers or
instantly.
anything.
Yeah.
He's on it. Because I know Luck likes to fly warbirds. So there have been times where we were actually flying warbirds and something happened. He's like, oh no, guys, I got to let you go. I got to go fix a server or something like that. So he's definitely on it.
It's also the quickest way to get him
and-
into your server to fly warbirds is you just
There's a
pretend
problem.
there's
Can you
something
come
wrong.
fly with me?
Like,
Check
look,
it out.
the
you know?
warbird server's not working,
Yeah.
and immediately he's in. We're like, oh no, it's fine. We figured it out. Luck, now that you're here, hop in a Mustang.
Yeah. I need help to go bomb this runway over here.
Open a ticket.
Yeah.
But this
Oh, man.
relates to what we've got running. Public servers.
4 of them.
Quattro.
Yep. So we used to be behind a password wall, not a paywall. We used to have a password. We used to very meanly say, you have to know the password. You have to join our Discord. Luck said 5 letters is too much. We're going to make it 0. So he dubbed us and said, you guys are in charge of giving a place to everybody to fly. And so we have 2 training ranges. One is it rotates between the World War II Marianas and our England modern day. So that one rotates as needed. All you have to do is pop in our Discord and be like, hey, can we fly in this era? And we'll just switch the mission. And then the second training range is on the Knitter, and that's Nevada. And that one is really special. Frenchie has really gone above and beyond like anything that my P-brain can comprehend. We have air racing, completely full of the Granelli racing pack. There's pylons.
That was
circuits.
really cool. That was really cool watching them get it working.
Insane. And it all works. You fly through first pylon, it'll say, hey, your time's starting. You can see it running, like everything. There's
And
also
if there's anything wrong, he can fix it like that.
instantly, and there's a lot of mods. However, Frenchie's the man, big brain, and he goes into the Lua and deletes the mod requirement. So if you have normal DCS, come join. There's no mod wall. There's no password wall. You just join. So we got the 2 training ranges completely open to the public, and then we have our 2 campaign servers. And right now we're running a World War II Normandy foothold style campaign, which has been an absolute blast. It's the only thing I've touched for like the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
And then we are running foothold on Kola. We kind of picked Kola because there's not a lot of multiplayer servers that are running Kola, and that's like a map that everybody owns but nobody flies. So now we've got everybody on the Kola. Coca-Cola. All 4 of these servers, if you just search Hooligan World Tour, you can find all 4 of them. And if you can remember how to press enter, you can get past the password. That's not. All brought to you by Fox 3 Managed Solutions.
Yes.
Thank you, Luck.
Um,
Luck.
Yeah. And then I couldn't help but notice, Jimmy, that it's like Christmas morning behind you on the
It
podcasting couch.
It do be Christmas on the podcasting couch. For those of you who listen to us on Podbean or Apple or Spotify or any of those, behind me I have a brown suede couch draped in, well, I have Marvel pillows, but they're hidden behind a View 270 by Thermaltake case, an Asus ROG Strix motherboard. There's already CPU and memory installed on it. We got the M.2 NVMe Gen 4 storage drive. We got a 3080 Ti and a 1200 watt.
Jesus, a lot of watts.
All the watts. TJ Watts, JJ Watts, Derek Watt.
No.
Yeah, all the powers. And then up here we got a T-Flight 1. And then right here, it's kind of difficult to see. We got the Varjo, which is no slouch when it comes to clarity. And all of this is going to be put together and shipped to one of our viewers.
That is a full VR
awesome.
gaming system.
100% straight up.
That is
Still have
awesome.
no idea how we're affording this, but okay.
Bro, we got lucky. Them.
How do I get a full VR gaming system?
I don't
Man.
even have VR.
Isn't. What we're going to do, I'm going to be putting together a video where I assemble the computer. I'm going to talk. I'm going to be like, blah, blah, blah. And then all of you guys who are interested are going to go to any of our social medias. And right now we've got the Facebooks and we've got the Instagrams. And we're going to be posting up pictures of this build. We're going to be talking about the free giveaway, talking about our servers. It's going to be a little bit like, hey, hooligans are awesome. Come join us, fly with us type situation. But you're going to share one of those, take a screenshot of the share, and put it inside of our Discord in the Squadron bar. This one is behind a Discord wall. You got to join our Discord at least if you want a free computer. The idea behind this is not an upgrade. You know, I mean, like if you are, you know, flying in a stone age, like somebody right here, you know, 100% enter. But the intent behind this is to have somebody win this system who wants to fly DCS who doesn't have this. So we want to give to the community. We want to get a new pilot. We want to teach you to fly on a freaking badass headset and on a computer that can, you know, push that headset.
Yeah.
So it's not for somebody who has that stuff.
No, go away.
You don't get away.
I can't try.
I mean, your son could, but if I see
Yeah,
that
so
little
the
Vader,
community-
like, hey guys, check out High Alpha Hooligans. I can win a computer. No.
Just to reiterate. So go to our social medias, share our posts,
Once the post about the computers come out.
share that. Take a screenshot so that you know you can prove you shared it and join our Discord and drop that in the Squadron bar, and you could win a full VR gaming setup.
Everything.
Yeah, it's like a
Sweet.
$2,000 plus dollar value at least.
Probably more than that.
Yeah. That's
With the
yeah.
with the RAM
Especially
prices,
especially now
This
that
bad
RAM
boy's got
and
32 gigs
video
of RAM
cards,
in
yeah.
it. That's 32 pounds of gold
Yeah, it is. Holy cow.
and storage. Holy
Mm-hmm.
cow! I had to like sell half my truck to get that storage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things are
If you were
mixed of
looking at
gold right now.
building, if you were looking at building a computer right now and saw the prices of stuff recently,
And
this
don't wor-
this
but
may
don't
be your
worry.
chance to get it all for free.
But don't worry, the hooligans got you. We'll
Ooh.
get it.
One caveat: you must be somewhere that the United States Postal Services, United UP.
Yes.
You must be somewhere that the post office delivers to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So,
way too
you
much
need to
stuff
be-
for us to try to FedEx internationally.
America
so
dirt in the territories.
we need to be able to ship it through, the U.S. Postal Service.
There we go.
Good
That's the
catch.
words. U.S. Postal Service.
Yes. All right. So we were going to talk about gear, right? That's the whole point of this episode. And I'm gonna start this off with a little story about how this kicks off. I get a message, or I don't know, message, or we're on Discord. I'm talking to Jimmy, and I'm like, "What are you doing right now?" He's like, "Oh man, yeah, I'm testing the Moza AB6. We already have the AB9, but he's like, we're testing Moza AB6. I'm like, you mean you're testing it? He's like, I got on the testing team, bro. Like,
A hooligans testing
you got on
team.
I got super amped up. I'm like, we got to hold on. Moses sending you stuff to test. He's like, I'm like, how'd you get on the testing team? He's like, I don't know, I just bought it. Womp womp. So I got all like super amped up. Now he just
Hooligan
bought it.
testing team.
Yeah, the hooligan testing team. So both Jimmy and Vader have purchased the AB6. They've been given it, a good solid test and flying with it. Tell us about it. I want to know.
Vader, if it's cool with you, I'll talk kind of like what all you get in the box, and then you can do first impressions.
Yes, sir. Go for it.
So what we'll do,
Great idea.
first thing, we're going to talk about three different things. First thing is going to be the base. This is the base right here. This is, for those who are familiar with the AB9, this is about the third of the price and probably a quarter of the weight. The AB9 is an absolute monstrous machine that
It's a car battery.
it is a car
Liter-
battery.
literally.
This is more
That
motorcycle.
is
more
like,
marine.
that's like a motorcycle battery.
Yeah.
And one thing that's unique about this is you have 8 buttons right here. So you have half of an MFD right here that you can program, pushables, clicky. They're backlit, they're LED. And one cool thing inside the software is you can assign colors to all these lights, so it's RGB, it matches Corsair. And then 2 sliders. So you got 2 sliders for throttles, or whatever, left engine, right engine, RPM, propeller pitch. You can literally, with this
Mixture.
base, you can do gear up, flaps up, hook down, and every bit of throttle management that you would need. The connection on it is a standard connection that is shared by Virpil, Thrustmaster, and Moza. So any of those products you can slap on. So in testing, I took a Warthog, Thrustmaster Warthog stick, and I put it on, and There's no mapping. There's no downloading. It just instantly works. The plugs are the same. It is awesome. In the Moza software, it even says all the different buttons, and it identifies it. It's super easy. This right here, the AB9 does 9 Newton meters of torque. This does 6, which we'll get
The
to.
AB9 does 12.
Well, 12 peak.
Peak at 12. Yeah.
So this one's just flat out 6. One of my fears, which we'll ask Vader about at the beginning, was that it was going to be not force feedback because I was afraid that 6, Newton meters was not enough.
Worried about a limp stick?
Floppy stick. Nobody likes a floppy stick. But I was
Floppy
worried
stick.
that it was going to be more haptic and not like actual force feedback. But we'll get to that. Next thing we'll talk about is the mounting solution right here. In the box, it comes with 3 pieces of hardware and all of the screws and bolts that you need to mount this in 2 different configurations. You can mount it nearly level with the bracket, just like this, or you can put this 9-inch adjustable plate on there so you can raise it, lower it, and it attaches to your desk. And it will fit any desk that you have. If you're rocking like a 3-inch piece of concrete, this thing's going to go to it. Next.
And how did we find out about the?
Dude, we
about
didn't
the
even
desk
know
mount?
that. Yeah, we didn't even know that the mounting stuff came with it, and we got them in. We ordered them on release day. We were in the first batch to receive them, and we had them both sitting there, and we were dreading it. Like, how are we going to connect this? Because we got like horror memories from the AB9 and having like custom.
The AB9 is not an easy stick based.
I didn't want to take it off my rig.
Vader and I, we're having this like hour-long discussion. We're looking on Amazon. We're looking for a LE minimum, and like we're trying to figure out how we're going to.
I could do an L bracket and connect that to this thing and connect that to the desk and screw that and blah blah.
And we're digging, and Vader opens the box. He's like, "Dude, we don't need to do any of that. It comes with a mounting solution." I was like, "What?" And so I cracked the box open, and sure as shit, it's all sitting there. Like, it is everything you need to put this to a desk is there, including the cables. And then the last thing that comes with is the grip, the stick. And this thing is absolutely fantastic, I think. And keep in mind, the price point for this is $399. So you're getting the base, you're getting the mount, and you're getting the stick. This stick is taller than almost every other. This doesn't really show it, but there's like a full inch difference between the two. Because all the others don't have like the built-in Z-axis. Yeah, an inch is a lot, dude.
I'm bursting at the seams here for this, but there's a lot of talk about us reaching into boxes, playing with sticks, making sure that they're bigger and smaller. Like, there's a blanket, so to speak, across this entire conversation right now.
I think it's valid.
Okay, I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, nobody's saying so to speak.
It's all good.
On the stick for buttons, you have a little pinky switch. The only thing I wish I had was a pinky lever, but I'll let that go.
Paddle.
Yeah.
Switch.
You have a 4-direction countermeasure switch over here, or whatever you want to make it. You got your traditional pickle button. You got another 4-way hat with a push. You've got a self-centering axis switch, which the entire time I flew the AB6, I flew it for 2 weeks straight, exclusively on the desk, flat panel. And I controlled my camera view with this, and it is awesome. Like, you can a little bit to the left, peek left, peek right. Like, you don't even need VR. You don't need track IR, because this thing right here, and as soon as you let go, it snaps back to center. You've got another little pushy button right here. You got another 4-way hat. Over here, we got another pushy button and another 4-way hat, and every hat also depresses as a button. So it's like a 5 button with the 4-way hat.
And the Z-axis too.
And a Z-axis. Right here, you can lock out with a small Allen screw. You can lock out the Z-axis or remove it if you don't have rudders. So literally in one box for $399, you have pitch, roll, throttle, propeller, yaw, everything.
And with that axis switch, you don't need
Jimmy, please,
anything other than that to have a full HOTAS, rudder, throttle,
everything,
and view control on one stick.
$399.
And please stop playing with that little view, the little view thing. It just looks so weird.
Also, one thing I will add, God, you know this, the AB9, super satisfying to set it up as a sequential shifter when you're racing, right?
Yes.
Same. You can take any shift knob Moza sells them for like $30 or $39.
You
I
can
don't
3D
remember.
print one for nothing.
Yeah, you can 3D print one for 99 cents worth of PLA. Well, probably like $3 with PLA. Screwed on, and you have sequential shifter. I plugged it in, and I was driving a Assetto Corsa Rally.
You say sequential shifter, but with the AB9, I did not like the sequential shifter. It didn't feel right, but it maps like a 5-speed, 6-speed dogleg reverse, like all full gear shifter.
Yep. I just did sequential because I was using this, and I was like bumping through gears by slapping the stick. So, but everything.
How's that go?
Everything.
I'm dying here.
So
that's what you get in the box. In the box.
I don't have one of those. My experience is with the AB9, which puts out 9 and then peak at 12 Newton meters of torque. You mentioned already you were going to hand it over to Vader. What's the force feedback, especially knowing that you have the AB9s, both of you? How does it feel in force feedback compared to the AB9?
So I know that Jimmy was afraid that it was going to feel more haptic. I wasn't so worried about that. I was just nervous that, literally just based off of the price, knowing that it was 6 instead of 9. I didn't know how much of that would translate into this, because this is literally like half the size, I would say. 50%
less than half the size.
Yeah. So the biggest thing I was worried about was like, yeah, you might feel some, torque on it, but it wouldn't be much. And when it's not on, you go like this and you can kind of feel like you can feel the gears in there. With the AB9, it's smoother. So I was worried that you were going to feel that as you're flying. So as you're flying, you're going to feel like, little jitter. Right. So I turned it on. Moza found it instantly. I think I just had to do an update and then everything was there. I picked my plane and I started flying. And instantly when you turn it on, it does its self-centering. So it'll go, to the corner, middle, and then back. And then once it's there, it felt just like the AB9 in the beginning. And then I started flying it and I was amazed at actually how much torque there was, like just from running down the runway to taking off and feeling the back pressure and flying around. And that was my first impression. Like I literally got on, turned DCS on, did the update, picked a plane or, the profile for the stick and flew. And then after I was done, that was my first time using it. After I was done, I was telling Jimmy,
Did you like it? Did you not like it? What do you think? First
yeah, and I was like, I
outburst.
liked it, but I didn't feel this or this. And he's like, well, did you turn on any of the settings in the telemetry tab? Because you can go to the telemetry and literally turn on, what is there, like 25 different
Easily.
things?
There's like 10 categories with at least 2 to 4 per category.
Like propeller motion, gear motion, weapons, elevator droop.
Dynamic wind feedback, like all that stuff.
Yeah. I didn't have any of that turned on. And I was still impressed with the amount of torque. Now, is it going to be as strong as the AB9? No. But if this is your first time using force feedback, you're going to be blown away by it. I honestly believe that.
What's your first thought of the software?
I think the software is easy.
Easy peasy.
Like I said, before I got into DCS, I literally did not have a PC. I'm 46 years old. I have a computer at work, but I never had a home PC for gaming. And I completely built, this massive PC that could handle this huge game called DCS. I got all this stuff just for DCS. And I only play DCS so much that I had to set up this whole table here because I don't just have a desk with a computer. That's my desk right there. I don't have anything else.
That's the office, boys.
It's the office.
But I think what you're saying is you don't have a lot of computer experience, but this was easy.
Yes. Yeah. I was getting off track there. But yeah, so you do the update. It gives you all the options. But what I like for somebody who's a novice, who doesn't understand what all these fancy terms mean, it actually will tell you if you hover over what it says, like elevator droop, and you hover your cursor over it, it actually gives a explanation. Oh, this will, do this, 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 and this. So that's awesome for me. And then you can pick the profile, especially now, because they added, before this came out, they had like 30, 25, 30 different profiles. Now there's like 90.
Dude, all of them.
There's literally one for every single plane for both the AB9 and the AB6 now. And then, of course, you can do custom profiles too.
And you can use, if you do have an AB9, I don't know why you would go backwards, but you can. I just turned on my AB9 profiles and ran them on the AB6. So,
I didn't even know you could do that.
Scroll to the bottom. You have to like refavorite them.
Okay.
So,
but the AB9 doesn't have these either.
No, it doesn't have
getting
buttons.
what?
Dude,
Yeah.
the AB9 by itself,
10 extra
everything.
buttons.
Yeah, the AB9 starts at $550, and
it's on sale right now for 500. But yeah, 550 normally
for just the base, and then
for
you have
just
to get an
the base,
extension.
and then you have to get a stick grip for it unless you already have one,
and
then
rudders.
you have to hire a genius to figure out how to mount it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the AB9, like I mentioned earlier, is a mounting nightmare. Because it's enormous, and it does not have any standard mounting solution whatsoever. So it is going to be something you have to figure out and engineer.
The one thing they do have is Moza does have a really robust desk mount for the AB9, but it is not friendly with SimFab. It's not friendly with Next Level Racing. I had to read it real quick. Like, it's not friendly with those at all.
Yeah, it's not something that you can just slap onto any sim rig or easily mount to your desk.
Yeah.
But like Jimmy said, so the AB9, the Moza's leap into flight sim, from racing sim into flight simming, which is an amazing product, is $550 for just the base. You have to have a stick, depending on your mounting solution, probably a stick extension, and that's it. You get the base. That's it. You have to build everything on it. This is $400. It comes with a mounting solution. It's easier to mount because of the size. It comes with a stick grip, comes with throttle levers, comes with a Z-axis, so you don't need a throttle and you don't need rudders to get right into flying with this thing.
You don't need VR. You don't need track IR.
It's
you
got
don't need track AI.
the hat switch that you could use for view. So this is like it feels to me like what you're telling us is that they've built a solution that gets somebody force feedback and everything they need to get into flying DCS without all the other hardware.
Yep.
And they do it for $150 less than the AB9 and still really good force feedback.
$150 less than just the base.
Yeah, no, I'm saying for $150 less, you get all of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Scott has said it.
How does that price stack up to other sticks? Because people are going to be looking at just price, but I don't think they're realizing that they're also getting force feedback.
So
versus haptic feedback.
That's the huge
the one thing that we've said before, Scott has said this before, is if you think you're getting into DCS, go find something used, something cheap, see if you like the game before you invest in it, because you can go down a very deep hole. We call it the Vader hole in DCS.
Yeah.
So right here, I got a T-Flight 1. This sells brand new at Best Buy and Walmart, all those for $99. It's 16 buttons.
And that's my very first test.
You can separate
that's
the
what I
throttle
started
from the stick. Yep. So you can put throttle on the side of the keyboard, stick on the other side of the keyboard. This is okay. I wouldn't spend $99 on this because this is not 1/4 of the AB6.
They've made those since the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
But the thing is, those have been out long enough too that you can go on the secondhand market, go on Facebook Marketplace and find them all over the place.
$35.
You can get into DCS without having to spend $400. But if you are looking to spend hundreds of dollars, I think to Fifi's question, people are going to be looking at this and going, I can buy this thing for $400, or I can save $100 and get this other one over here. So
like this guy is brand new, and it's actually pretty new too. I think it just came out
in the last year,
a year ago.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't quote me on it, but I think it was like $250 or something.
Yep. Okay.
And again, this is just a base, and it's just springs, and you can change the springs and everything, but there's no force feedback.
Yep.
So for somebody who's looking to spend a few $100s, and they're probably like, man, I got a $250, $300 budget. Why should I spend $400 for this? Like what you're getting out of that is not just the base and the grip, but you're getting the force feedback, which I haven't flown with the AB6, but if I were going to already buy a stick and it only cost me an extra $100 to get force feedback, that is the best $100 you will spend on top of a stick that you're going to buy, period. Because force feedback, absolutely, to me, when I got force feedback, DCS became an entirely new game. Like entirely new.
Even for me, like when I went from like basically a T-Flight, I had an X52 when I upgraded to my X52, and then I was generously donated a One Wing Orion 2 setup, and just the haptic feedback in the Orion 2 stick, I was like, what? And now, like, you guys legitimately have me like scratching my head, wondering whether or not I should look at the Moza AB6
Oh,
now.
absolutely. I'm looking for the price of, so like the nearest competitor, I think, to the AB6 is going to be absolutely Wing, the Orion 2 line, because
which is a fantastic.
It is
a fantastic.
It is
setup.
Well, I want to clarify though. So like any joystick you can get your hands on to start this game is something you can fly with.
Yep.
But haptic feedback is going to get you more out of the game because you're going to be able to feel things like rocket launches and machine guns, but more importantly, you're going to feel buffet on the wings and stall, and it's going to add to the game. But force feedback, unlike haptic feedback, like you feel when you trim, the stick actually moves. And if you're in a warbird where you're trimming off the stick pressure, it's really easy to find trim flight because you can. I've flown airplanes. You trim the feel out of the stick, or for rotor wing where you move the stick and then trim it and the stick stays put. That's a level up from normal haptic feedback to force feedback. So if you're looking at sticks and you're like, well, this one has haptic feedback and this one has force feedback, they're both a level up from a normal stick, but force feedback is kind of game changing.
Because you go from not feeling the plane to being able to feel the plane, like literally feel it.
Because
with
force feedback. With force feedback is the pinnacle of what you can do with, immersion when it comes to your hands. And Moza has managed to just crush the market with a force feedback stick priced at the mid-level stick prices. So you're getting a high-end product for a mid-level price. And that's...
Yeah, if they wanted to make a product that was going to get a lot of people into force feedback, they definitely nailed it out of the park.
So to sum up or cap up this AB6 discussion, it sounds like give me the
Oh, it's a definite thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's a hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
I cannot find the price of One Wing, and I just tried going to the website and it says we've detected your location that our store does not support.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later. You have to go to the US
changed
store,
their name. It's like Wing Control now or something.
But anyways, to not get lost in surfing the internet on that, and you can go out and price these things for yourself. We don't need to go out and do it for everybody, but you could go out and buy a stick secondhand, get something, try DCS, see if you like it. When you get to a point where you're looking at investing in nicer hardware, and you're not wanting to spend $550 to $600 on an AB9 because that's ridiculous. As you start pricing them out, it sounds to me like this stick has a whole lot of bang for the buck.
Oh yeah,
it's a little bit more than what you might pay for some other high-end sticks, but you're getting a lot more product for that extra $100.
And if you're going from nothing, go ahead, Fifi.
Say this could be your first and last.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Like if you're going from nothing, like the T-Flight, where you don't feel anything and you're having to guess by looking at the speed or whatever, to go in and actually having force feedback, I mean, it'll blow your mind when you can actually feel the stick pulling, away from you, or pushing against you, or not wanting you to turn as fast as you think you could, because when you're just playing with a stick, you can just move it wherever and there's nothing pushing or pulling against you, so you can just, it totally changed it. When I got the AB9, I mean, it felt like it was a totally different game for me.
Yeah,
because I had been playing on the TV with Xbox for like a year. And then once I got this built, I kind of jumped and got a lot of stuff all at the same time. But I'll tell you what, that AB9 was like one of the biggest things that I was
sure.
So
And my AB9 was game changing for me as well. But after
Yeah.
hearing you both talk to us before we recorded this and over the course of you testing, hearing what you guys have said about the AB6,
Yeah.
if I had the choice now and I didn't have a Moza and I was like, I don't know if I want to get an AB9 or an AB6, I would, as much as I love the AB9 and I'm glad I have it, and I spent the money on it. If I had to go out and buy one now, I would buy the AB6.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would too.
So I just found the US store. It is $409 to buy the Orion 2 with the shaker kit so just haptic feedback from Windwing, which I think is the really only closest competitor that you have to AB6. Without
so for
going
the
up in
same price as an Orion.
It's on sale for $358 now, which probably Moza stepping.
Is that the
market.
base? That's a circle.
No, it's the square one with the shaker on it.
It's a small square. Yeah, it's a small square.
Sure. But it's got haptic feedback. So for the same price when it's not on sale, you get force feedback and the throttles and the Z-axis.
That's a no-brainer.
It's a clean kill. This thing's freaking badass.
Yes.
Cool. Moving on
to
more conversations that I've been dying to get into, because I've been listening to Vader and Scud get thrown around their rooms.
Is this the butt part?
These motion rigs.
Yeah, that was the stick part. This is the butt part.
Now we're getting into the butt part. So welcome to Butt Talk.
We all talked about our sticks for a long time. Now we have to start talking about our butts.
Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about my experience with the H3, and then we'll let Vader. He's also got a lot of time on the H3, and then we'll let him talk about the differences with the H6. New sim rig over here. I got it secondhand off of Vader, which is great. It is a DOF Reality H3 3-axis motion sim rig. It's pitch, roll, and yaw.
Can you explain real quick what those three are, just for layman terms?
I can. If you're watching and interested in DCS and you don't know what pitch, roll, and yaw are, then you're way behind the power curve. Pitch, up and down, roll, and then yaw is the twisting of the plane around the vertical axis. The H3, if you were to go out and buy it brand new and you didn't have anything else, you didn't have a seat, so you needed to get a seat. You need to get the HOTAS mounting kit and a few other things that come with it. The total price all invested would be about $4,500, roughly, depending on the parts you get.
Is that ship price too?
I don't know if that's shipped or not. Okay. That's just, if you look online, they advertise the H3 at like $3,200 or $3,300, but it's like,
you need to have the shipping and
HOTAS mounting and a seat and all the other stuff that comes along with it. So there's other things that they sell as add-ons that you need. So you're looking at about a $4,500 product. If you're lucky enough to find one in good condition used, go for that, because but overall impressions, the immersion is awesome because I'm in VR. I don't know if I were doing it on flat panel, if the immersion would be anywhere close to what I experienced in VR, because when you're in VR, you don't see that the sim rig is only tipping this far. You feel it move, and then your brain interprets that, and it feels like a whole lot more motion. And if I were on flat panel, I think it would just be a novelty or a gimmick. But in VR, it totally tricks your brain, and it feels like the plane is moving. I will say that when I fly on the H3, it is very much softened down flying. I've seen videos of other people with these sim rigs. I've seen videos of this sim rig I have when it was at Vader's house. And like, you watch somebody land on the carrier deck and that thing just slams forward when they come to a stop, and they roll and the sim is shaking really hard. And the first time I flew it like that, it was not immersive. It broke the immersion because that's not how airplanes feel when they fly. Now, when I did driving sims, it's cranked up. Like when I hit the brakes on a racing game, this thing slams forward. When I go into a turn, it rocks really hard to the left and right. It's very violent. It's 20 degrees of motion at something like 86 degrees per second. So it will give you whiplash if you let it. I mean, it's a violent ride. But in flight simming, it's more immersive and it feels more real when it's a lot softer. So, when I pitch up, the sim maybe pitches up. I think I've got it set to 7 degrees. When I pitch down 7 and sim with the roll, but it doesn't feel like that. When I pitch up at 7 degrees, I feel like the sim is pointed 30 degrees nose up because I'm in VR. So it really tricks your brain. Most of the motion that's fast moving is acceleration forces. So if I suddenly roll the airplane, there's a sharp jerk of the sim in the roll motion to give me that feeling like the plane is rolling and then my body's catching up. That adds a lot of immersion. Same with the acceleration and deceleration forces. But yeah, it's weird how it tricks your brain. I was just flying earlier today. I was mapping some controls and I just started doing lazy like barrel rolls. And it's crazy how you can do a barrel roll all the way around, and when it gets to the other side, it feels like you've just gone upside down. Like it feels, it's hard to describe. It's like
when you're upside
it's like the
down,
first time you
feel
try VR.
a little stutter, but that's it.
The first time you try VR, you're like, if you tell somebody what VR is like, and then you finally put them in VR, and they're like, "Oh shit, I had no idea." Like that's how this is. It's hard to describe how it tricks your brain until you actually, experience it. But I do, like I said, I do fly it way softened down. So like when I crash, you're not going to hear it. It's not going to sound like my house came down around me, like when Vader would crash. I think a part of
when
this,
I would crash, I had to go like this sometimes.
I've only had to do that a few times. I've only had to do it a few times. What I think a big part of that is that sim racing, SRS,
Sim Racing Studio.
That's the software that comes with it, and it's okay. But Sim Hub is working with it now, and there is a lot more fine control of all the sensations and feelings. And one of those things is that I can tell it, hey, before you hit full travel limit, slow down. So when it crashes or goes full limit, it like softens it out so the sim doesn't bottom out at 86 degrees a second, and my VR headset doesn't try to fly off my face. So it's become a lot more docile than what I thought it would be. Now, like I said, I'm running 3-axis. Vader upgraded to a 6-axis. You want to tell us what the difference is and how you think the 6-axis feels compared to the 3?
Yep. Well, when I got the H3, even before I got it, and this is before I was even playing DCS yet. I think I was still playing Microsoft Flight Sim because I did not want to start DCS. I knew, like, in my soul that I was going to love this game. For some reason, I just knew it. And so I was asking myself, okay, do I want to get the H3? And then, because I know myself, am I going to be 4 or 5 months down the road? And am I going to be like, man, I should have got the H6? And that's exactly what happened. Now, the H3, I'll tell you, is awesome. I was running it the whole time on SRS, Sim Race Studio. And it did have DCS. I know it was a bug. I don't know if they fixed it yet or not, but every time you would load into a server or a mission, I think the telemetry would come in all at once, and it would jerk you. So I'm sure these guys remember we would be flying a mission or something and I'd crash, or we're all loading in. Everybody would hear me go, ugh, because every single time, it'd be here. And then it's like trying to figure out where the plane is in space, and it tries to move there instantly for whatever reason. I don't know.
I don't think that's a DCS thing. I think that's a relational thing between SRS and DCS.
It's possible.
Yeah,
but
because with the new
I read it
software,
somewhere that
right?
it was like a bug. Right. Yeah. Ever since using SimHub, I haven't done it. And like Scud is a pilot, so he knows all the little nuances that he can, tweak. But I'm not a pilot, Again, I've been in a plane, but I haven't flown a plane. So I don't know. I know how I think it should feel, how I want it to feel, but I don't know how it really should feel. So I'm sure I did have mine tweaked a little bit higher. And, the H3 to the H6, I got the H6 mainly because I wanted to feel turbulence.
Can you tell us the difference for those that don't know?
So the H3 has 3 motions. So you got the pitch, roll, and yaw. And then if you get the H6, it adds surge, heave, and sway. So surge is your straight forward and back. So imagine, taking off from the carrier. It's going to feel like you're being jerked back, and then it goes up. In an H3, I don't know exactly how it does it, but it would
just tilts back to give you a sensation of movement forward.
Right.
Right.
So that's surge. Sway is just the side to side, the left to right. And I actually feel that a lot. Especially flying in the air, you'll hit a little tiny pocket of air and the whole plane kind of shifts back and forth. But the big one that I actually wanted this whole H6 for was the turbulence, to feel that straight up and down, hitting like a pocket of air. That's really what I wanted to feel. Because, you feel that when you're as a passenger in a plane, you feel that all the time. You're just flying and you hit that big pocket and it's like, boom,
Don't spill my drink.
Right.
So the H3 simulates those. Right, it simulates forward and back motion by tilting forward and back, which
it's not like
in
it doesn't
VR
do it at all.
is somewhat convincing, right?
Yes,
and then it simulates sway left and right by tilting you left and right, which again is somewhat convincing, and then it simulates up and down just by tilting up and down. So it's there, but you get the sense when it's trying to move you up and down that it's also tilting you back and forth. Where the H6 separates that, it doesn't have to mix those up. It actually moves in those additional axes without having to trick you.
And the H3 is like a square. So the base is a square. It's got 3 motors, and you just put your seat on it. It's like a square. With the H6, if you can see it, there's 3 different sections, each with 2 motors in them, and they all connect with 2 beams. I have the weight. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but there's a damper in the middle, just because I have a lot of weight on it. So it's able to shift independently all different directions. So it's got 17 degrees, not 20. The H3 has 20 degrees of pitch roll. This one has 17. So it doesn't have as much, but it has more areas of movement or degrees of movement.
I'll tell you that the degrees of motion is somewhat negligible. It's only 3 degrees difference in total range of motion, but when you're in VR, 3 degrees feels enormous. So like I said, the sim was only tipping 4, 5, 6, 7 degrees nose up, and I felt like I was sitting pointed to the ceiling. The motion in VR, anyways, the motion translates substantially more than it's actually moving.
Yep, and the software tricks you by, I think it's called washout. So if you're, rolling to the left and you're 90 degrees, it might give you a big, it'll feel like you're, rolling left a lot. But you don't notice it if you stay in that roll. The rig actually slowly starts coming back to center. So if you decide to go even more to the left, you'll feel yourself going left again. So again, it's tricking your brain where if you weren't in VR, and I know this because I actually played with the CLS 60 and the Bravo. I played that on triple monitor on the rig, on the motion ring, on the H3. And like you said, it was cool because you see the plane going up. You felt the plane kind of going up. But when you put the VR on, then it's like it felt like you were actually in the plane, and there was no reference except for what you can see, which is what makes it immersive.
So
that's what I was going to say. Was that reference?
I was going to ask then, going from the 3 axis to the 6 axis.
Yes.
Is it a noticeable difference?
When I was thinking about it, I thought it was going to be. Now, I was playing in the H3 with SRS. I never tried the H3 with SimHub. When I got the H6, I did a lot of research, and SRS is good if you're, again, somebody like me. Now, SRS is, you have, like 6 or 8 sliders for the power that you want. And it's pretty simple. It's like, I want a little more of this, a little less of this. SimHub, you can use SimHub for everything. You can use it for cars, for planes. I know there's a ton of stuff you can do with SimHub. Yeah, everything, everything. So there are so many settings. And again, I'm not a PC guy. I actually had to hire a guy that's basically all he does. He just helps people get their stuff set up. And we spent 2 hours just configuring SimHub. And at the end of that 2 hours, we still weren't done. He's like, you're just going to have to fly it, figure it out. Just know that if you want to tweak this, you just do this. And I've slowly been doing that. So I'm still learning this because I got this in early November. That's when I bought it. I think I got it right before Christmas. So I've only had it like 2 months now. So I think my settings might not be dialed in yet.
Yeah,
Because like I said, the biggest thing I wanted, the biggest thing I wanted to feel was that turbulence. And I have felt the turbulence, but not as much as I thought I was going to feel it. Now, I don't think it's that problem.
I think it's because the servers don't all have turbulence turned on. Because that was one of the things I started getting used to the motion. And at first it's a little disorienting. When it first turns on, you're like, oh, it's the Sims moving. And then after about 30 seconds, your brain completely accepts it. And you're just like, okay, it feels like the motion translates. So there's that just a brief moment where your brain has to adapt, and then it accepts it. But I got used to the motion, and then I was flying on a server that had turbulence turned on. And the first time I hit the turbulence, I was blown away. I was like, because it felt like turbulence in an airplane should feel.
Right. I've gotten into the software and turned up the heave. I've tried turning it up, and that didn't work.
Yeah, I think you need to just find the right turbulence. It's hard to find good turbulence in a server.
Look for tomorrow's update.
I will say that that if you
turbulence severe.
If you were looking at getting a motion rig, and you are in VR, it is not just as simple as you get a motion rig and then you fly in VR, because when the sim moves, your head is moving, and the game doesn't know that you're not trying to move your head in VR space. So, like when you roll the plane to the right, your head is going to move outside the left side of the cockpit or the right side of the cockpit. So you have to buy there's additional software. And for me, I had to buy a motion sensor to attach to the sim, so that motion sensor detects the movement of the sim and then sends that to the software, which then it's like noise canceling for the headset. When the sim moves backwards, it moves my headset forward in space. Virtually,
the physical one is WIT motion.
Yeah, so there is some more stuff you have to do to make it work in VR to make it feel right. But once it's working, it's really cool. I will say, as far as DOF, if anyone out there from DOF Reality wants to come talk to us, be on the podcast, hit us up, because I do have some bitches, gripes, and complaints for this.
Or give me an H6 to test.
You guys made a really badass motion rig for race car drivers. And then you called it a flight sim and did very little to adapt it as a flight sim. And what I mean is, there's a HOTAS mounting kit, and you can mount like a Thrustmaster. There's a basic stick mount and a throttle mount, and that's kind of it. The pedal mount, I have wind wing pedals. There are no mounting holes that match up with that. So you can't just take some flight gear like the Moza. Obviously the AB9 is not going to fit. I don't know if the AB6 would go on this without some sort of like modification. There are certain throttles that are not going to mount to this without modifying the hell out of it. The rudder pedals, I had to engineer my own way to mount my standard wind wing rudder pedals to this. So I feel like you guys kind of slapped some basic flight control attachments and then called it a flight rig. And if you have anything other than some very basic flight controls, you're going to have to figure out and engineer all on your own how to mount this stuff, because it does not hook up just like, it is not plug and play attach stuff. It is work to get the controls all mounted on this thing.
You're going to get dirty. You're going to be getting your drill out. You're going to be measuring and
go buy some scrap metal and
going to the hardware store like 4 times in a day because you got one thing and then you got back and you got that on and you try to put the other thing on and you're like,
it is not an easy process. A
lot of people will take just the bottom part, like the what is it on the H3? It has just a square little connection in the back, and then the connection or the 2 connections on the front, and that's it. They strip everything else off, and they put like a 40/40 extrusion.
Yeah, you might have to build. Like I said, they sell it as a sim rig, but it's not going to go together that simple. It's not going to. I'm telling you,
more of a project.
It is a project.
It's not as simple as the AB6.
And for example, the H3 again is a square, so you have mounts on either side of your seat, going forward. So you can figure out how to connect your throttle and stick and whatever you want. With the H6, it's just an X. There's 3 mounting positions, and I don't know why, but they have 2 of them right where, so if you can see, that panel is literally sitting right on top of one of the braces right there. And it's the same on the other side. So I have the Super Taurus. There's no way I could mount that on there. I mean, I might be able to, but I really have to adjust
You'd
my
be like
seat position.
sitting there like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said,
But where
it's,
I'm sitting now, there's no way you could.
to reiterate what I said, it is a racing sim that they kind of call a flight sim and sell it as a flight sim, but it's not. If you bought this as a racing sim, you could slap any pedal and wheel on it and be racing in a few minutes. That's the first thing I did because I couldn't mount all my flight hardware. So I threw a racing steering wheel and pedals on it and I raced on it. And then I spent another week attaching all my flight gear to it because you cannot easily attach all this stuff.
Right. And I got,
and in addition to that, they sell you seats on their website that can go with this, or you can buy an aftermarket seat like SimFab, which is what I have, or a next level racing seat. All these next level racing SimFab flight seats have a cutout for your stick, so the stick can be mounted between your knees where it would be. All of the seats they sell on their website are racing seats. They're like Sparco racing seats. There is no cutout. So if you buy their seat and their mounting hardware, your basic like Thrustmaster stick is going to be way too far forward and way down in front of your knees. So you're going to be flying the airplane leaning forward like this. It's like, so I went and looked at their seats and I'm like, none of these seats will work for flying. None of them have a cutout. None of them have any room for a stick to be mounted. So then you buy any normal flight sim rig seat and none of the seat mounting holes line up. None of them. All the holes are built for Sparco racing seats. So again, you sell a flight sim rig without a flight sim seat. And if I buy a flight sim seat, it's not standard mounting holes. So I had to engineer my own mounting solution just for the seat to sit on this. So again, amazing piece of hardware, but for flight simming, I feel, I don't know. I'm not trying to call them out, but I guess I'm calling them out. If you're going to sell it as a flight sim rig, sell it as a functioning flight sim rig and not an engineering project. DOF.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that I've struggled with. I mean, obviously you can see I have a lot of peripherals and trying to figure that out sometimes. It's just
been a nightmare.
You know, by the time I'm done, I'm mad, I'm pissed, I'm dripping sweat, and then I have to wait half an hour to cool off before I can try it out.
When I first got this finally finished as a flight sim rig, I flew around with all these cuts and gashes on my knuckles from all the damn construction work I had to do to build this thing. So they do sell a 2-axis rig. Then they sell the 3-axis H3 and the H6 that we've talked about. They also now have a 4-axis H4. And that 4-axis is a 4-motor rig. And it does pitch, roll, and yaw. And it also does heave up and down. So it doesn't do sway and surge, but it will add heave. Also, the H3 can be upgraded to an H6. So if you buy an H3 and you like it and you want to upgrade it and get more motion, you can go spend another $3,500, $3,700 and they send you all the parts to make an H3 into an H6.
Yep.
But now is it worth it? Because what's an H6? I looked it up. So $4,500 for this if you bought it new. If you bought an H6 new with nothing else, you bought the seat and everything you needed, that's like an $8,500 piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's pretty much double. It's basically what it is.
Yeah. So
whether you get the kit, the upgrade kit, or you just buy the H6 outright like I did.
So from my perspective on the H3, again, I got secondhand at a really good price. Thanks, Vader.
You're welcome.
If you can get one,
I did give him a good price.
It was a really good price. If you can get one used in good condition, it's probably pretty. I mean, you go spend $2,500 on a video card, so it's not like a full motion rig is that much more if you're spending serious coin on computer game stuff.
You do have to be aware of what year they were built too, because the DOF had just in the last
there's
3
different
years,
versions.
There's different gears. They used to have the old gear where it was like a turning gear.
It was a normal worm gear, and now it's a ball gear. Yeah,
right. So, and then they've upgraded to that too. Now there's like SFU, like U too. Now it's like even smoother.
That and then the newer versions have digital encoders on the motors, so they know what position they're in. So you don't have to calibrate them. You just turn it on and it calibrates itself. So yeah, if you're going to look for a used one, look at which version it is and what hardware comes on it. But a used one, I think is not a bad buy. But like we're talked about the AB6, is it good buy for the money? Do you get a lot of product for the money? If you are in VR looking for motion and you have the coin to spend on a 3-axis, then do it. It adds a ton of immersion to the game. It really honestly does in VR. If you're a flat panel player doing flight sims, like racing sims on flat panel, I can see this still being badass. Racing sims in VR, this is mind-blowing. Like the ability to feel like the flying just kind of tricks your brain that the plane's moving. In racing, like the acceleration, deceleration, and lateral Gs were crazy good. And then the yaw axis, with it being 3-axis, blew me away that I could feel the rear end step out on a car. Like if I started to lose traction on the rear end, I could actually feel the rear end sliding out and make corrections based on the seat of my pants. That blew me away. So
Based
flat
on your
panel
butt cheeks?
racing, based on your
There's
butt
the butt
cheeks,
joke. There it is. There's the butt.
based on racing in flat panel, probably still pretty cool. But in flying, if you're not in VR, this is not worth the money. If you are in VR, it might be worth the money if you have a lot of money to spend. If having flown this and owning one now, if I were to go out and buy one, would I spend $4,500 on a motion rig? I don't know.
Well, we also have to think about it, Scott. Like we were booking our hotels for
Flight Sim Expo.
For Flight Sim Expo, and we were debating about which one had the best free breakfast. So like we can be misers at times, but for the
Sure.
people who can spend the money on it, or just save up for it. I mean, it'll take you a few months to save up for it if you want to save up for it.
Yeah, again, we're talking very high dollar product here, right? We're not talking your normal. We went from should I spend $100 on a joystick to $400. Now we're talking about a $4,500 motion rig. So
Yeah.
you have
it's
to
a
be
big
in.
jump.
This has to be in your market if it's something you're looking at. I think
you definitely have to be
it adds a
dedicated.
shit ton to the immersion. It really does. But now I want to ask Vader, having used the H3 and then bought the H6, do you think the H6? How does that compare as far as what you get for the dollar?
Yep. So like I said, it's only been 2 months now since I've had the H6. And I still want to preface that I don't know if my settings are correct, but I can definitely feel all the different degrees of motion that I didn't have with the H3. I, in my brain, thought it would be more. Like I thought I would feel more turbulence, but like you guys said, if it's turned off in the server, you're not going to feel it. Doesn't matter how much you turn your heave up, you're not going to feel the up and down. Even though I feel sway a lot, and I've had to turn that down. Do I think it's worth double the money? Now, if I knew 100% that my rig was dialed in perfect, I would say no. Like right now, I would say it's not worth double the money. If it was, if it's an extra, just say $4,000, say it's $8,000 for this, $4,000 for the H3. I would say if it's the way it is now and it can never get better, I would say like $2,000. $2,000 more would be, acceptable to me. But again, I think I can tweak it more to make it better. I think I can. And if I can get it to that point where it just amazes me, then I'll say yes.
But right now, it's not twice as good for twice the money.
Right. But again, I want to preface, I don't know if I have my settings right. I mean, you are talking about, when all is said and done, just for the motion rig, $9,000. So it's not something that a lot of people are going to get. And there are two different versions. There's the H6, which is the Hero 6, and then there's the P6 and the P3, which is a professional brand.
The difference on the difference on the H and the P. So the difference between the Hero and the Professional is the rate of motion. And the rate of motion goes from 86 degrees per second to 105 degrees per second.
Ooh. Okay. And are the motors stronger too, or bigger?
I don't know if they're stronger. They're probably gear different or stronger motors to be able to give that. But that's the only appreciable difference between the two that I noticed when I did my research on them.
So, obviously talking H3, H6, the H6 right now, I think is not worth double, but I definitely do think it's worth, right now, $2,000 more than what the H3 would be. Again, if we can get it dialed in, it could be.
So what that
But again,
means, DOF,
that's a luxury. That's a luxury.
what that means, DOF, is that your H3 to H6 upgrade kit for $3,600, if you drop that down to $2,000, I'll buy it. That's what Vader's telling you.
Yep. Yes. So
It's not worth $3,600 to get those extra 3 axes, but if you drop that down to $2,000, I'll buy the upgrade kit.
People out there that have an H6, hopefully they watch this and they're going to be like, dude, you have no idea what you're missing. You don't have this, you probably don't have this on or this setting right or something like that, which I'm very aware. And that's why I want to keep saying that I'm guessing, even in the 2 hours, that whole 2 hours of setting up SimHub, it felt like we were just rushing. It's like, go, go, go. We got to do this. And before we knew it, 2 hours was up.
So if there's any other H6 users out there, which I know there's one of them, Mover has an H6. If you guys want to pop over to the Discord and throw some love our way to help us figure that out.
Help a simpleton figure out the settings.
I got you, Vader.
Yeah.
I got you. We'll talk about that.
By
after
us,
the
I mean
episode.
those guys. Yeah.
And it is. I do 95% warbirds. Everybody knows in High Alpha Hooligans, I'm like the warbird guy. I'm always flying warbirds. I love warbirds. I have the F-18 MIP panel. I have the left and right F-18 panels and everything, but I love flying warbirds so much that I recently got this guy. So.
Oh shit.
Yep.
That's a P-47 panel.
Console of a P-47. So I can take the MIP panels connected to just this bar. So I can just take those 2 bolts out, take this off, put this right on it. And then this comes with, hold on. Because that's not, okay. Put this on the right side. Okay. Tail wheel lock. Okay. So I can mount that on the right. And then on the back left, you got your fuse, our bomb fuse box.
Wow.
Yeah. So this all comes together, and I have tried this, and it's actually, it's pretty awesome. It is. It's pretty awesome.
That's so cool.
So
there's a guy on Etsy. I can't remember his name offhand, but there's a guy on Etsy that loves P-47s, and he's got those 3 pieces, and he's building more.
If you're handy with the soldering irons, circuitry, and you have a 3D printer, you can also make your own of those. Like I've seen full, like
I don't have a printer, and I'm not
full Mustang stuff as well. Like I've seen the full Mustang throttle panel with trim wheels and stuff. And I've always like, I look at it, I'm like, should I? Nah. But
only if it's a Mustang.
I want to caveat that, like, we're sitting here reviewing these super high dollar products, and this is not in everyone's, like, it's not something that everyone's capable of doing and buying and getting right now. That's okay. We've said this many, many times before. Buy what you can afford and enjoy the game and have fun, and then figure out where you want to spend the money the next time you drop coin on this game. And if you are first starting out with DCS, you don't have to go buy everything you need to fly DCS. You can buy a basic joystick and try the game out and see if you like it. Because Vader's lucky. He spent a lot of money building a sim rig and then jumped in and loved the game. But there are a lot of stories of people who drop serious coin on this and they fly it for 2 or 3 months and they're like, yeah, it's not fun. Well, that's
what you see on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, that's why you see all this gear on Marketplace. So you don't, crawl before you walk, dip your toe in the water, then wade ankle deep. And then when you're like, holy shit, this game is fun, jump off the cliff. And spend shit tons of money on it if you can.
Like I said, when I first started, I was flying on a TV with the T-Flight HOTAS for like 6 months.
The other thing I wanted to say on that is if you're one of our audience members watching, listening, and you're like, I really like video games and DCS is awesome, and I'm like 17 years old and I don't have money to spend on this stuff, like I want to point out the fact that on the average, Fifi, the average is that we are all 40-year-old children.
Like
I know Fifi's like, I'm not 40, but you got 3 people here that are 46, so that brings the average up, right? That brings the average up. And so you're listening to a bunch of
Legos,
a bunch of grown men who have never grown up, but they found themselves in their 40s with disposable income. Like, so
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
yeah. So like when I was 18, I couldn't have afforded any of this shit either. Right.
Oh,
and
no.
and
Hell no.
now I'm 46 and I have disposable income. So I buy all these cool toys. So like, if you don't have to go out and spend all this money to have fun in this game, but in time, if you find yourself with money and you like the game, then spend the money on it and enjoy it. I just don't want us to come across all bougie, like, well, you know, here's all our super sweet gear that you guys can't afford. Like,
you got to be dedicated. Like, print out an entire manual from Chuck's Guides, right, and put little tabs on them.
Chuck's Guides, that's bitch work. You need to get the Real -1 from 1942.
I get the real one. Well, I didn't know that.
One thing I will caveat:
F-18 and F-14. That's a lot of paper and ink.
Man, you must.
It's a lot of trees, man.
I'm old school. I like physical, like paper.
He doesn't care. Look at his rig.
Are those
hold on.
Are those in sleeves? Are those laminated in sleeves?
Well, I have whatever this thing is called, a laminator, for work. So I just did either side, and that's like my cover.
I want to point out though.
See, that's what it is.
Vader doesn't care about the trees. Look at his sim rig sitting behind him, right? And then look at the video games on the wall. And what you guys don't know that we know is that Vader doesn't have a man cave. Vader has a man cave on top of another man cave. So he's got like an entire arcade, another level down below him. And then you look at that sim rig. So you know that like whenever Vader fires up his sim rig, they have to hire a whole bunch more like workers to come in overtime to the power station and start shoveling coal into the furnaces to make sure his sim rig runs. So,
I know you make fun of that, but that is a actual thing that I'm dealing with the arcade, is that I can only turn on half of it, because if I try turning on everything, it blows the breaker. So I need to get an electrician in here to like double the power down there.
What is this? It's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation when they cut the power plant when he turns the lights on and the freaking meter is just spinning out of control.
Yep. Yeah, if I turn everything on in my arcade,
it's beautiful, Clark.
Yeah. I got 8 4-foot black lights in the ceiling.
We should almost rename Vader to Tron.
Like Tron too. I have the arcade machine downstairs.
I'm gonna throw Vader on the spot and call him out too. As much gear as this guy has to fly DCS, and it's gotten way better now. In the last few months, it's been actually really smooth. But like when he started flying with this and we realized the amount of gear he has and money he spent on gear, and they're probably, at least at the beginning of our friendship, there wasn't a day that we jump on to fly where Vader's like, damn it, now this piece is not working. And he'd fix that. And then the next day we'd fly and he's like, damn it, now this piece isn't working. And it's like Vader's got it all. He's finally gotten all the bugs worked out. But it was always funny. I'm like, dude, he has every piece.
With all the issues that I had with my PC, I had to buy basically a whole new PC in parts to get it working. You know, I had to get new RAM. I had to get a new SSD. I never had to get a GPU or CPU. Yeah. But I had to get all the little things first and come to find out it was the motherboard.
Also, we joked about hearing Vader crash when in the H3 and how violent it was. He had that thing cranked up so damn much that he had to hook chains onto it to keep it safe. So then there was this moment where every time he fired the sim rig up, we were being visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, like rattling the chains.
It was good.
Oh yeah, they could hear. I remember you guys saying, "Man, here we go. You can hear Vader's rig going again."
It's like starting up an old Peterbilt.
Yeah. One thing we haven't talked about was if, I know that a lot of people can't afford a motion rig. One thing I think if you save up and it's not that much money is the butt kicker.
Yeah.
Butt kicker Pro.
Yeah.
That thing is amazing. I had the butt kicker. I did not hook it up because I honestly didn't think a lot about it. I was like, oh, I got the AB9, I got the motion rig, I got VR, I'm good. And I remember telling Jimmy, I'm like, yeah, I got a butt kicker, but I just haven't put it on yet. And Jimmy just freaked out on it. He's like, go get that thing right now and hook it up. You have no idea what you're missing. I'm like, dude, I have a motion rig already.
Not the same.
He's like, you don't get it, dude. Go get it and turn it on. And he wasn't joking. I hooked it up and wow.
AB9 is one of the best. The butt kicker is one of the best immersion tools in or out of VR that you can get for this game.
Absolutely.
And like Vader said, you don't know until you know. Like motion's cool, but like feeling like in the Hornet, when you put the gear down, on the Hornet, you can feel the gear doors open and you can feel the gear extending into the wind, and you can feel 3 distinct clunks when the gear locks down. And like little tactile feedback sensations that are incredible. In the helicopters, you can feel how much you're loading the rotor up. Like you can feel when you're stalling the rotor out. And you get so used to it that when it doesn't work, it's like the game, it's hard to play. It's really hard to fly when the butt kicker doesn't work because you get so used to the feeling. I was flying, we were doing Huey dogfights, and I was shooting the machine gun. One, it's a helicopter, and then the machine guns are shooting so much that it overheated the transducer on my butt kicker. My butt kicker was also in a bad spot where it didn't get ventilation, and the butt kicker turned off.
Like trapped under your butt.
It was trapped under my butt, but it shut off, which thermal protection. It got a little too hot. It kicked itself offline. The moment that butt kicked offline, I dumped the collective and I was like, shit, somebody shot my engine out. And I tried to emergency land, and the helicopter was working just fine. It's just, you get so used to the feeling that like when it turned off, I thought, like, I could feel it. I'm like, oh shit, I lost the engine. It's similar with the motion rig. I was taking off in a Focke-Wulf 190 yesterday, and I haven't flown that plane in forever. So I forgot about the cowl flaps and I kept them closed, overheated the engine. But before the engine quit, it lost power. And in the motion rig, I felt the loss of power in surge. Like I'm flying, climbing out, and I felt that, like I felt myself move forward as the plane slowed down. And I was like, oh shit. Like there's so much immersion, but the butt kicker was like $250 for a butt kicker, adds so much to the game.
Yep. And then the very last thing I have is the cubic belt tensioner. And that thing it's pretty cool. I wouldn't say with everything I have, it would be the last thing I would get, but that adds, you have to wear a 5-point harness basically. So I sit in my seat, I'm buckling myself up, getting ready, and it starts off right away. You can feel engine rumble. You can, just like a butt kicker, it's like a big butt kicker, but like on your shoulders, and it'll shake. Same as when you're in the air, you can shoot, you can feel the weapons. But obviously main thing it was built for is for racing, but you can use it for flight sim. Like flight sim is like second place with racing, but you can feel G-forces. That's the main reason I got it. So if I pull up really fast or roll and pull, it tightens you up.
That's kind of cool.
And that's somewhere where I think me and you on these sim rigs is going to differ. I do not have a harness installed on my sim rig, and I cannot do it. I think it would be cool for racing sims because you strap into the seat in a race car. But yep. I learned, I hooked the harness on and I flew on it for 60 seconds and I was like, nope. And I disconnected it and took it off. And the reason is
because you couldn't do this?
Yeah, because you check 6, and when you strap into the harness, you're checking 6 like this.
Yeah.
Like, dude, when I fly in real life, when I flew in the T-38 and I do the same in DCS, when I'm checking 6, I shift my entire hips and I put my shoulder in the seat. And that way I'm checking 6 like this and I can still look forward. And I couldn't do that with a harness. And so immediately, like the first time I flew off and tried to look behind me, I was like, I can't. I need freedom of motion in my upper body. And that's just because that's how it's done.
And that's the one big negative for that is like at the dogfight tournament that we had, I didn't wear that because I know when I'm dogfighting, I don't want to be limited to just trying to do this with my head, So I think I just had my waist strap. That way I could look all the way around. But if I'm just doing a mission or a warbird mission or something like that, then I'll wear it just for the immersion. But
I think it's time for a quick overall recap of the product reviews. Go back into like the yes, no. We kind of hit it already, but on the motion rigs, lots and lots of money. It adds immersion. If you have the coin to spend, and I think in flying, if you're in VR, consider it.
Yep.
That's kind of where I stand on that. It's cool. It's awesome, but I can't say that you should break the bank to get into motion, and especially not if you're on flat panel. However,
start with the butt kicker.
On the AB6, that's like a clear yes.
Yep.
Total winner
Yes.
product.
I think at $3.99, if you put that on the Christmas wish list, if you start putting $20 on the counter every time you get a paycheck, I mean, $3.99 is an amount of money that you can get to, yeah. And
you cannot go wrong.
you
with
can't go wrong with the AB6. Vader and I both agree after having the AB9 and trying the AB6,
thinking that it wasn't going to be anything.
Yeah, if we would have gone H6 first, Moza definitely had a good strategy for marketing, because if they would have released the AB6 first, nobody would have the AB9. AB9 is nice. AB9 is fantastic. I'm not taking mine out of my rig to sell it to throw the H6 or to throw the AB6 in there, but the AB6 does everything the 9 does and more. And the price, the entry price, especially when you compare it to like Virpil and Windwing and even the Thrustmaster Warthog, which is unchanged for a decade at its price, you cannot ignore the AB6. And I think that if you fly the game now and you have one of those sticks that I just mentioned, throw that jerk on Facebook Marketplace, take that money that you make and get yourself an AB6. Like that, it's a must.
Yeah.
This is not, I'm not trying to lead you into it. It's totally like yes or no, Jimmy. Do you want to mention what we got upcoming for the next interview we're going to do on the podcast? Are we at a point where we can announce that?
Absolutely. Our next episode, put in the comments down below if you have questions for Pimax. So we are going to have Pimax on our episode coming up, and we want questions. We big fans of Pimax around here.
It's pretty cool how this worked out, because we did the episode where we talked about the
Christmas episode.
Yeah, the Christmas episode.
Pimax
was on our naughty list for a few things, and Jimmy does his wink at the camera. Jimmy, there you go.
Yeah.
And he's
Pimax.
like, Pimax, if you want to come talk to us about it. And then all of a sudden we get
emails.
from
Leave
Pimax.
a comment. Here's our email address. Here's the PO box. Everything was like, hey, I'm so and so from Pimax, and we're like, oh my gosh.
Oh shit. Okay, you guys
Heck
do want to
yeah.
come on. They want to get off the naughty list. So that's that's what you can expect in the future. I think it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And we need dad advice from Jimmy.
Yep.
And then we'll have Vader send us out.
All right. So I got 2 pieces of dad advice today. I gotta set the scene here.
Ooh.
Duo.
Would you call it a deuce?
Dose.
A deuce?
Hold on. I got.
Come on, there's been no poop joke yet, so we gotta.
I must prepare myself. Where was
sneak it
this
in there
at?
somewhere?
Hold on. Where's the
Oh my god.
Where's the tool at?
So while
Oh,
Jimmy's
okay.
searching for this, everybody,
We've been having. You know how we always say Jimmy's not ever ready for the dad advice.
It's true.
He's
so
on
while
brand
Jimmy's
today.
searching
Wait,
for this,
where's the thing
Jimmy's
to
searching
change my
for this,
background? I can't find
It doesn't work right
you
now.
have to hover. Yeah.
No, it doesn't work when you're live.
No
doesn't work where you're live.
way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Go
but
ahead,
anyways,
Phoebe.
everybody. So what's going on right now is we've had our previous podcast software that we're using was Descript. Anybody who's been on it and anybody who's been friends with us,
Just
where
shit.
did Jimmy go? Oh my god,
I'm
what did
here.
he do? So it was a decent product at the very beginning, and then it turned absolutely into a nightmare.
working.
Where we've lost episodes multiple times. We've almost lost huge episodes. When we recorded with Wags, we didn't know if we were even going to have that episode show up. Everybody got to see an ugly version of it when Heapler, with the Heapler interview with Iron Mike, and we had it all out of sync and splotchy. This is because that podcaster was talking.
No, we've had to re-record episodes multiple
atrocious.
times.
This is take 2. This episode is take 2 because of Descript. So now we're on a new. So this podcast is now brought to you by Riverside. So apologies for
Riverside,
any sort of weird.
If you want to sponsor this
wonky-
podcast,
yeah, we'd appreciate
There you
it. But so if you want to, so apologies for any weird editing that has gone on, because I'm learning it as we go here on this. But anyways, we found this really cool effects thing where you can change the backgrounds in the videos, and Scott and Jimmy had this whole thing about poop jokes and porta potties and bathroom stalls that they were going to do. Thank God it didn't work.
all right. Dad advice, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, he disappeared again.
Oh, there he goes.
I'm trying to turn it on. Anyway, so I was gonna have it was gonna be a porta potty, and I got 2 pieces of dad advice. If it's your first
A
time
deuce.
in the military and you're deploying to anywhere that's hot, like 140 degrees in Iraq and Afghanistan, and you go to take a dump inside the porta potty, and your fire team is snickering in the Humvee as you dismount to go get a little porta potty, drop your dookie. You know, if you hear the Humvee rolling, be ready to be to stand there for a while because they're probably parking up against the door, so you're trapped with that. And then, you know, so poop where it's safe, head to the Cadillacs. And then second one, you know, this was a really expensive episode to talk about, you know, because the gear is there. The AB6, completely manageable. I think everybody should get it. But for the rest of this stuff, $20 is $20. So if you got to go out there, you know, shovel some sidewalks or do whatever, $20 is $20. Work your way towards an H3.
I like
And Jimmy's sitting here talking
Yeah.
about if you get out of the Humvee to go poo. And for those of you who may be new to the episode, to the podcast and our episodes, you don't have to get out of the Humvee to go to the bathroom. We have a whole story on one of our early episodes about this, and somebody made artwork, so it's worth revisiting the artwork. So my dad advice is, if you are deployed for the first time and you are worried about getting trapped in the porta-john because of your team playing a prank on you, don't get out of the Humvee.
Just poop on your shoulders.
Yeah, don't get out of the Humvee.
And
just
an MRE bag.
just do it right in the Humvee.
Oh, nice. I like that.
If you're not watching, if you're listening on just an audio only, then go find us on YouTube. Get to the end of this video so you can see the picture. Vader, you want to send us out?
Yeah, I want to show one thing first, since Fifi was talking about Tron. So,
dude, is that an original Tron?
Yep.
Get out of here.
Yep,
Yeah, we got to party. We got to go over and party at Vader's house.
Party at Vader's.
We're just gonna.
User.
Yeah, yeah. I'm an early '80s arcade guy, so I have like Donkey Kong, Galaga, Miss Pac-Man, Defender, Tempest.
We just got to
Mortal
show up at
Kombat
Vader's
1 and
house
2,
one day.
of course. Don't have Top Gun. I got Star Wars though. 1983 Star Wars. I have the 1992 Diddy's pinball. I have Operation Wolf.
Ooh,
with the Uzi.
That's
remember
a
that one?
damn good arcade game.
Yeah, I have Hydro Thunder. That's a newer one. That's
Hydro
early
Thunder.
90s.
Yeah, Hydro Thunder. I remember that one.
Yep. Asteroids Deluxe Battle Zone. Yeah.
Vader's gonna hook up.
Tron.
He's gonna hook up.
Morph.
He's gonna hook up all the coin machines for it too, to make sure he makes a little bit of cash off of us.
Oh yeah, all the coin mechs work on them. You know?
All right.
And that was a passion I started way back in 2010.
Yeah.
I restore them. That was another passion of mine, is buying ones that are like falling apart and restoring them back to new condition.
Abandoned many talents.
All right, Vader,
With
send us
that,
out.
everybody.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. I know we didn't talk about it, but these guys helped me out a lot. If any of you guys are thinking about joining DCS or want to join DCS, but you're nervous about not meeting people or you don't know what to do, I can guarantee that I was one of those guys. And all it took was one message, and I hooked up with these guys, and it's been awesome. I didn't do PC before DCS and these guys. I didn't do multiplayer. You know, my whole life, 46 years old, I didn't do multiplayer until I was in DCS with these guys. So, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, okay. Rifle kazoo.
Bam, bam, bam.